Howdy, howdy, y'all. I am the Bearded Tamper. Now, I know by the title of this video, you guys are like, ooh, Tamper Talk. Another segment of Tamper Talk. Let's do it. Well, wait a second. There's some things that housekeeping, cleaning, not really. Typically, housekeeping or cleaning. It's usually housekeeping, but listening to the Pipes Magazine podcast, he always says house cleaning. So, I like both of them. An Orangewood billiard. Made out of Osage orange. And obviously a vulcanite stem. Last block that I had, big enough for a pipe, and that's a little concerning down at the bottom, but don't know if you'll be able to. You won't. But the drilling is spot on. Really turned out really nice. Pipe for my wife. Love that Osage orange. The grain, just because it's so dense, you know, it's when you buff it out, it looks three-dimensional. I mean, it is three-dimensional, but inside the wood, it's almost like you can peer inside the heart of the wood. And it's got a flat bottom on it, slight flat. It's a sitter. Just thought I'd show that. Made that the other day for my wife. So with that pipe, I guess it can be called the Osage billiard. It's a good name for it. Man, I've been super busy, is why I haven't been on here. There's been a lot of people asking where I've been, how I'm doing. I'm doing great. Everybody's doing good. Just a quick update for those that don't know. My wife and I have had a child, little baby boy. His name is Elijah, with a J, Nathaniel. And she quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom. Fantastic. The Lord absolutely blessed our socks off and has allowed us to do that. And with work and the baby, and then other things around the house, I haven't had much time to do anything. Made a pipe. But that's where I've been. I'm still smoking, still tamping, which segues us back around to the tamper. So I just wanted to kind of, what is a tamper? Why do we need, how do we get from our finger, tamping it down, ouch, obviously, that sucks, to a fancy big deer horn exotic wood tipped tamper. Well, a tamper can be many things. All you need to do is to keep the ash tamped down close enough to the tobacco to where the ember in the tobacco can get the oxygen. We're not looking to mash the tobacco down. We're not even necessarily looking for anything to clean the pipe out with. Although we all know that sometimes, the dottle's a bit hard to get out. But if you're packing your pipe hard enough to where the ash and the tobacco, whatever's left in there, is plastered to the bottom of the pipe, then maybe ease up on the tamping a bit. Might be a bit too hard. We all have our own smoking, habits. However we smoke, and it works for us, do it. That's great. Get a tamper with a pick on it. So this is a tamper. This is a wood screw with a flat head. You can tamp it. Anything that fits in a bowl, and you can tamp with. So something that I have in the shop. I, wasted one of these things and I just cut the tip off, and I use this sometime for a tamper. I typically don't use the fancy tampers, and many of folk use the golf tee tamper. And we have a bamboo tamper, that I'm throwing around. We got a holiday tamper. Now all these tampers, have a dottle pick or a scrape on it to where you can get into the pipe and gouge out what's left in there. And obviously, we've got the infamous check tool, which is good. I don't have much use for this tool. So I like a good wooden tamper. The question for me is, not the question, but really the thing for me with a tamper is what feels good in the hand. This doesn't necessarily feel good in the hand because for one, my hands are larger and it's kind of small, but it's squared and it feels just, I don't know. I don't really dig it. Not a whole lot. It's a good tamper. Really good tamper for the price. My go-to tamper, now this is small too, but the way that it is, the curvatures of it, they're perfect for me. For a shallow bowl, I go down here. Most often I just kind of grab it right in the middle, tamp and twist as I tamp, go around the bowl, all the way around. And I'm not telling you guys anything new. This is just me. But this is my weapon of choice. Almost every pipe I smoke. And if I can't find it, which if I can't, then it's usually under something on the workbench. Then I always have this sitting, this sitting up on a shelf. It's always there. So how do we get from these simple utensils for tamping, simple tools, for smoking a pipe to the more extravagant Osage orange wood, with a 45 Colt tip, and a exaggerated dragon claw dottle pick, and these are all these tampers I made in the shop, or even, a dremeled out finger tamper, So how do we go from the archaic screw to this? Well, what's your preference, really? What's your preference? You don't need this to tamp anything. I mean, you can use your finger. You can use a screw, a nail, a stick that you pick up off the ground. You can use anything to smash the tobacco down, to smash the ash down, against the tobacco. Lightly, obviously. I say smash, but to gently press the ash down. This, you don't need a vehicle. Now this might sound like a sales pitch, but these are things that I come across my mind and people ask, and these are just answers that I've given. You don't need a vehicle. You have a bicycle, that you can get from point A to point B in. It might be a sweaty mess when you get there, or a frozen log, but you don't need. What is need? You don't need this smoking a pipe. It's a preference. What do you want? Luxury. That's why I tried to put on our website, luxury tampers. These are luxury tampers. $20 for a tamper when I can go buy, a China nail, the nail with the flat smash tip on it for 99 cents, $2. That's a no-brainer. Well, okay, that's fine. Perfect. A check tool. What's a check tool cost? $2.99, $3, $1.99? These things are super cheap. And you get three things. You get a tamper, You get the spoon, the dowel spoon, and you get the hole cleaner. Whatever, super cheap. That's what you want. Perfect, perfect. Get it. Get what you want. Get what suits your smoking style. But these things, I I I I don't have one myself. My wife has one. I didn't bring it out, but it's similar to something like this. It's a long, thin, dainty kind of tamper. But this I love because I can throw it in my pocket with my Zippo and never, I don't have to worry about it. I just throw it in there and go. But at the house, I actually don't use one of these fancy tampers. I've considered making myself one, and I don't use one just simply because I don't want to waste the material on myself. I have a second here, like a shop second that's got a crack in it that I've considered using for myself, but it's Osage orange, and that's limited material, so I've debated on using it or not, and it's like, you see this side has got the heart of the orange wood, and this side is, more just like white wood. So it is the edge of the wood where there was a big check in it, and I just didn't. I don't know. I still might, but if somebody wants it for cheap, I'll give it to them. But anyways, so I do prefer, even though I said that I have the bigger hands, and like this thing is small, but it's square, and I kind of feel like I don't have the control over it that I want. But these, little pocket tampers, love them. Absolutely love them. So, anyway, why do we need a luxury tamper? Preference. It's what we want. Style, personality. Whenever we have something like this, and even, with the deer antler, I've made a pocket deer antler. Where's my pocket tamper? I don't know, 3.5 inches, I think, is the thing. But it's our style. Why do we get the pipes that we get? You can smoke tobacco with a corncob pipe, and that's cheaper than dirt. It is cheaper than dirt, probably. Dirt's getting expensive. But it's our style, man. It's how we express ourselves to others. It's how, whenever we're holding this pipe that we just spent, a fairly large amount of money on, we like it. It brings us enjoyment. We like the way it looks. We like the way it feels. And whenever we have a nice pipe, with a nice tamper, with a sweet, sweet tobacco, some delicious marlin flake, or some Three Nuns, whatever. I'm really enjoying the Doubloon de Ora, the 7Ellie. That's a delicious tobacco. But these are just things that bring us enjoyment. So somebody says, why do I need a big old fancy tamper? Well, you don't, for one. But if you want one, think about it. Because it's like a pipe-ish. It is more, okay, this, is cheap. If you're going to buy a tamper and you want something like this, $2, whatever, $3. This is not as cheap as this. For one, this was just stamped out in a factory. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they make it. I don't know how many they make, but you probably make thousands of these a day. Just on stamping it out, mashing it together. This was handmade. The brass came from somewhere, the Osage orange came from somewhere, and I made it in my shop. I put thought into it. There was thought put into this at the very beginning, but after that, it's push a button and let the machine stamp it out. So, unless I guess my point with that is, unless you feel, similar to how I feel about a handmade product, then maybe you won't um, get the idea of why a an exotic luxury tamper is worth it. Again, I'm not trying to do like a sales pitch, but there's been several questions thrown my way, and I guess this is just an answer to a larger group. and if you're listening, I mean, I'm not saying come buy a bearded tamper, but if you don't have a bearded tamper, maybe you should consider buying one. But I don't want to make this a commercial. So, Tamper Talk, I haven't made any new tampers recently. But I think that's probably about it. So, if you guys have any questions about a tamper, if you guys are looking to get a luxury tamper, there are many, many, many folk out there that make a tamper, including myself. So the options are endless. There's several folk here on YouTube that make tampers. Yeah, there's a lot of people that make tampers, so there's a lot of options out there. And I am bent towards a particular style. I have I don't know if anybody else is calling it. It's not like copyrighted or patented or anything, but I've started calling these the Dragon Claw. With the claws on the end. Got that from Rustic Piper, helped me out with that. But I'm also bent towards the high ribs on the tamper. Love the way that feels in the hand, kind of non-slip grip. And that's just kind of where I'm at with those. So this is my style. If this isn't your style, then don't buy one of these tampers. Go somewhere else. But along with a nice pipe, a nice tobacco, a good hot cup of coffee, a good tamper that fits in your hand well, that is pleasing to the eye, and that presses the tobacco down. What more do you want? Life is good at that. So, this is the Bearded Tamper, and this has been another segment of Tamper Talk. Catch you next time, YouTube.